Welcome to the deep dive. You know, in a world just swimming in information, especially about AIs, it can feel like a lot.
It really can. Just overwhelming.
Right. You want the real insights, but it's like trying to drink from a fire hose sometimes. So, our mission here is simple. Cut through that noise. We dig through the sources, pull out what really matters, and hopefully turn all that info overload into some useful, maybe even aha moments for you.
Exactly. And today, we're diving deep into something specific. AI agents. It's talked about, sure, but maybe not always fully grasped.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So much focus is on, jobs going away or AI making art or music.
Right, the creative stuff.
Yeah.
But there's this other, quieter shift happening, a deeper one maybe, especially with these AI agents.
And for this deep dive, we're leaning heavily on a really interesting article featuring Kevin Scott. He's the CTO over at Microsoft.
Oh yeah, that piece, How AI Agents Will Change the World. Really thought-provoking.
Totally. And his view isn't just tech talk. It's like multidimensional. He sees it changing work, energy, healthcare, pretty much everything.
And one of the first things that jumps out, from Scott's perspective, is this kind of paradox he points to.
Which is?
Well, we hear constantly about AI taking jobs, right? That's the big fear. But he argues it's not really about eliminating jobs. It's more about profoundly transforming them.
Transforming. That's a key distinction, isn't it? Not just gone, but different.
Exactly. And what's kind of funny, or ironic maybe, is how AI has rolled out so far.
How so?
Well, you'd think it would first tackle all the boring, repetitive tasks we all hate doing.
Oh, absolutely. The drudgery.
But instead, AI kind of gravitated towards creative work first. Writing, art, coding to some extent feels a bit upside down.
It really does. But the idea is that AI agents might actually flip that back, handle the tedious stuff.
That seems to be the potential, yeah. So let's unpack that transformation idea a bit. How does Scott see roles changing, especially, say, for developers?
Are programmers out of a job?
No, not according to him, not vanish. But the job itself, it shifts big time.
Okay.
So imagine future developers. They're not necessarily typing out every single line of code manually.
Right.
Their main job becomes more about guiding these really smart AI systems, debugging when things go wrong, which they will, and needing this deep, like full stack knowledge to know how to step in effectively. So less direct building, more high-level direction and oversight.
So it's like moving from being the bricklayer to being the architect and the site manager combined, overseeing these intelligent systems.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
Orchestrator, maybe?
Sure.
Caretaker? It implies a big jump in, well, cognitive load, responsibility.
Definitely a different skill set required there.
It absolutely is.
Oh.
And, that brings us back to that point about where AI started. Scott suggests the industry didn't necessarily aim first at making our lives easier, getting rid of the chores.
Which is strange.
It is a bit strange.
Yeah.
It went for the creative domains, things lots of people actually enjoy doing.
So why? Why did AI tackle creative stuff first? Was it, I don't know, easier in some ways, more pattern-based than messy, real-world tasks?
That could be part of it. Maybe the patterns in language or images were, in a way, more structured for the models we had. Mundane tasks involve so much unpredictable context.
Okay, so how do AI agents change that, especially if they have better memory, better context?
Well, that's exactly it. AI agents at their core, they're designed for more complex, multi-step stuff. Think of them as smart, autonomous systems.
Autonomous?
Yeah, they can plan, execute sequences of actions, learn, and critically remember context over time. Like a really, really good assistant.
Kevin Scott called them personal bots, almost like they're on missions for you. Can you give an example? What's a mission beyond, say, booking a meeting?
Oh, much bigger. Think about maybe you need in-depth research done, spanning several days. You can delegate that. Or planning a really complex trip with multiple legs, changing variables. The agent could handle all of that. Maybe even anticipating issues you haven't thought of. Managing your inbox, not just by filtering, but by acting on emails. Solving problems overnight. It's about delegating complexity.
That does sound revolutionary, but it also sounds technically hard. What's stopping these from being everywhere right now?
Good question. There are definitely hurdles. One of the biggest is memory.
Memory like RAM storage?
No, more like contextual memory.
Okay.
The AI remembering the history of your interaction, the state of the task. Right now, many systems kind of forget. You end up repeating yourself, re-explaining the goal. It breaks the flow for anything complex or long-term.
Got it. It's like having an assistant with amnesia every morning. You can't build on previous work.
Precisely. Super frustrating, and it really limits their usefulness for those big missions.
Makes sense. What other bottlenecks?
Well, the big one everyone feels, indirectly at least, is energy. AI models, especially the large ones, they just consume enormous amounts of power.
Right. We hear about the data center energy use.
Exactly. But there's a lot of work going into making models more efficient. New hardware, smarter architectures. The transformer model itself was a big leap in power and efficiency, relatively speaking.
So the goal is eventually to have powerful AI that doesn't need a power plant next door, maybe run locally.
That's the dream. Powerful AI running efficiently right on your phone or laptop. We're not there yet for the really big stuff, but progress is being made.
Okay, so energy is a problem, but you mentioned Scott sees AI maybe helping with energy too. That sounds circular.
It is. That's central to his vision, actually. He talks about projects using AI right now to optimize power grids, make them way more efficient,
Okay.
and also to accelerate research into new energy sources like fusion or better solar materials. AI designing experiments, analyzing data faster than humans ever could.
So AI could help unlock energy abundance, not just manage scarcity better.
That's the vision. Energy abundance, driven in part by AI itself.
Wow. And if you have energy abundance, that changes the game for other things too, right? Like water scarcity.
Yeah, exactly. Desalination, getting fresh water from seawater, is possible now, but it takes so much energy. It's just not feasible at massive scale currently.
But with cheap, abundant energy.
Suddenly, large-scale desalination looks viable. AI tackling energy could indirectly help solve water crises.
It really highlights how crucial efficiency becomes then. It's not just about making AI powerful, but making it efficient enough to solve these huge problems without creating others.
Yes, that has to be a core design goal. The potential is there, but it relies on us, on human choices, prioritizing that efficiency and directing the AI towards these big challenges.
And speaking of human choices, often driven by need, Scott's perspective on healthcare really hits home. He mentioned a personal story.
He did, yeah, about his mother living in rural Virginia. It highlights the challenge of getting specialized medical care when you're far from big city hospitals.
A familiar story for many.
Right. And AI agents could be a game changer here. He points to examples like Stanford's AI-powered tumor board.
How does that work?
Essentially, AI agents analyze patient data, medical literature, scans, and work together almost like a team of specialists to provide insights and recommendations for treatment plans.
Augmenting the human doctors.
Exactly. Augmenting, collaborating. The big goal is democratizing that expertise, using AI to bring high-level diagnostics and treatment support to places that currently lack it, underserved areas, remote locations.
That could be incredibly transformative, a huge equalizer. Okay, quick distinction though. We've been talking mostly about these cognitive agents, the software kind, but the article also mentions embodied AI. That's different, right? That's robots.
That's right.
Yeah.
Embodied AI means robots, systems that interact with the physical world.
Yeah.
And while the cognitive agents are getting closer to mainstream, they need that better memory, better precision we talked about.
Yeah.
Physical robots are a whole other level of difficulty. The real world is messy, unpredictable. Physics is complicated.
Tell me about it. Like
Yeah.
trying to get a robot to reliably load a dishwasher with weirdly shaped mugs.
Exactly. Or fold laundry perfectly every time. That level of dexterity, adaptability, dealing with unexpected clutter, it's just a much harder problem than processing text or data. So, useful physical helper bots are likely further out than really smart cognitive agents.
Okay, that distinction makes sense. So bringing this all together then, for someone listening,
Right.
what's the takeaway? This deep dive paints a picture, based on Scott's insights, of a future that's, well, it feels like it's teetering, right?
Teetering is a good word.
Wow.
Between sort of a potential utopia and, well, potential pitfalls.
If AI agents get that better memory, become more precise, and crucially, are developed with efficiency in mind, the upside seems enormous.
Huge. Better healthcare access for everyone. Maybe energy abundance, solving related problems like water, automating away tons of the boring, time-consuming tasks in our lives.
Freeing us up for other things.
Oh, hopefully better things. But, and this is the crucial part Scott emphasizes, getting those benefits isn't just about the tech getting better on its own.
Right. It comes back to us.
It comes back to human choices. How do we make sure this technology is accessible? How do we guide its development? How do we make sure it aligns with what we actually want as a society? It's about consciously shaping its deployment.
Absolutely. So maybe the final thought to leave people with is this. We see AI's potential to tackle massive global challenges, energy, water, health. But realizing that potential, What specific human choices or what societal priorities do you listening think will be the most critical? How do we steer these incredibly powerful agents towards that future of abundance and make sure it's an abundance shared by all rather than one that deepens the divides we already have?
That's the question, isn't it? Something important to think about long after this deep dive ends.